Now that we have verified TCP sessions and they are in established state, it's also important to look at what BGP notifications are coming on the router. If the notifications also contain some messages with it, which could indicate where the problem might lie. So here's an example. If you look at this BGP notification, you will notice that it was sent to the neighbor 10.1.23.3 and active and says 2/2. Now this 2/2 is a notification error code and a subcode. We're going to discuss about this in the next lesson. But the focus here is on how do we get the data from the message dump and use that data to understand what the problem is or where exactly the problem is happening. So if you look at the notification, the data section says 0064. This is a hex value. This hex value, if you try to decode it into a decimal value, it actually gives 100, which means that your peer is in wrong AS number and the AS number should actually be 100. This is actually done when you're exchanging open message. The open message contains different fields and AS number is one of them. And during that verification, if you're seeing that if the router verifies that there is some wrong information than what I'm expecting, it dumps the message onto the router itself. So the message dump is always seen with BGP notifications, and it's usually an indication that either there's a malformed packet or there is a wrong information present in the message that arrived on the router. Now if you look at the message itself, the first few bytes are the BGP marker. It starts with F, 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 and so on and so forth. After that, 003B actually gives you the BGP length. Then you have 0104. Out of that 01, 01 actually tells you what kind of BGP message is that. Is it an open message? Is it an update message? Notification? Keep alive? Based on this value, you can actually figure out where exactly you faced the error. And the next thing is you see value 0x4, which is the BGP version number. And after that, you actually get 0064, which is your AS number. This is where you can actually verify your configured AS number is correct or not. If you do not have your configured AS number correct, you will always get a notification like we saw on the previous screen was peer in wrong AS, and it said 0064. You can actually decode the BGP messages. I know it is hard to decode the BGP message just by yourself, but there are websites and there are different tools which can be used to decode the BGP messages. One of these websites is bgppaste.convergence.cx. What I'll do is I'll copy the text here, the malformed update, and paste it onto that website. So we paste the BGP message over here along with the data section, the message dump that we have received, and click on submit. This will actually decode the whole BGP message for you. So if you look at it, it's not telling you the prefix of the FFFF, the BGP marker, but it starts with the open message and says it has the length of 60 bytes, it's an open message, it's version 4, my AS number is 64. Well, this is what you received on router 3, and it is how it actually sent the BGP notification message along with the message dump. On ISXR platform, you can actually look at the message dump using a different command. In the logging, it might not show you the exact message dump that you have received. So if you do show logging and pipe include malformed, or you just do show logging output and you look at all the log outputs that you have printed or the BGP messages that have printed, you will not be able to see what BGP message dump has occurred. It will only show that error has occurred and it's missing some attributes. But you can actually look at the message dump itself. You can do this using the command show BGP update in error neighbor IP detail. What this gives is what error information is received in the update for this particular neighbor. So it shows the neighbor IP is 10.1.13.1. It says it has two error elements. The first element says it has the field attribute data, attribute 2 flags 0x40. And the second attribute says it's an attribute missing. And then later on, it gives you the whole bunch of BGP message dump which has come along with it. This is what can be used further to decode the BGP message and understand what wrong information or what kind of malformed update the router has received and the reason why it is throwing a message dump on the screen. So this was how you can decode or see the malformed messages on iOS XR. On Nexus OS, you actually have to run debug BGP packet to see what message dump you have received or what malformed packets you're receiving. In that debug output, what you will get is a bunch of the data similar to what you have seen in iOS and iOS XR, and then you can decode the data to understand what wrong information or what malformed update you have received on the router.